So we'll get started now. My name is Kristen Neath. I am the Director of Sales North America for the Commercial, Industrial, and the Environmental divisions here at Kinetics Noise Control. Today we have a webinar for a really exciting new product, the NOISEBLOCK PW275 barrier wall panel. So I'll be going through some of the features, introducing you to the product. I've also got Adam from our marketing team on the call here as well. So if you have questions while we're going through, there is a questions feature in the GoToWebinar panel. Feel free to put your questions in there, and at the end of the presentation, Adam and I will go through some of those questions and try and get an answer for you. So, as I said, the PW275 new barrier wall product. What this is in addition to our current NOISEBLOCK panel product line offerings. Instead of a metal panel, it is now a rigid PVC casing. It's got either an acoustic media core or a galvanized steel core. And what it is a lightweight alternative to our standard NOISEBLOCK steel panels. Some of the features of these is they're far more lightweight than the panels. That makes for an easier installation. We're still using a tongue and groove type connection, and they're suitable for indoor and outdoor environments. Now, there's a couple different types of these panels. The majority of them are going to be this absorptive type, and you can tell they're absorptive because they have an acoustic media inside. They have those slits. Those are like the perforations of the panel, and that's going to allow for the panel to absorb that noise. We'll have that facing the equipment. They also come in a reflective style. So these reflective panels, they have no perforations in them, but they do have a galvanized steel channel, and that's both really beneficial for blocking properties of the panel, as well as it gives the wall additional structural support. So depending on what the structural configuration is of the barrier wall, we can add more of these metal panels, or these reflective panels, to increase that structural integrity. Now, if we compare these two side by side, they're going to come in very similar dimensions, so about 6 inches high by 2 3/4 wide. The really cool thing about these panels, they come in a 16-foot length. Now, we'll still try to maintain that 10 to 12 foot spacing, or 10 to 12 foot length of a panel, but there are some situations where we do need a longer length. This 16-foot panel is available. We'll just have to keep in mind that the structural supports will have to be designed to accommodate. With both the reflective and the absorptive panel, we're still hitting that ideal mass for the barrier wall, which is over 4 pounds per square foot, STC rating of 33 or 32, and we have some absorptive characteristics for the absorptive panel. Now, when we start to compare this to our standard STL4 galvanized steel panel, they're going to use the same structural support system. That same I-beam with backer angle that you're used to for a barrier wall, we can use the same system with this PVC panel as well. We're still using a tongue and groove connection, but where we start to see the differences is in the weight. So the PW275 is a couple ounces lighter. We have a little bit of a lower STC and a little bit of a lower absorption rate, but we have the longer lengths, and this is a much more cost-effective option than a standard metal barrier wall. I do want to point out that we are pretty limited in the colors in terms of white, gray, and tan, as it's the custom finishes that are painted finishes that are available with the metal panel. If we take a look at the STL4 and the PW275 and compare that to some other walls that are out there, you're going to see that both panels are going to be very effective barriers. They're going to be really effective in a lot of different applications, and they're limited in the amount of equipment that's needed to install them, especially when we're comparing that to concrete, to wood, and especially a metal vision screen, which is going to offer no acoustic properties whatsoever. So the type of applications you're going to see this in: in-plant industrial noise, any sort of outdoor environmental noise. So that's going to be your outdoor barriers around HVAC equipment yards, residential developments, property line noise barriers, rooftop screens on buildings, and like I said, mechanical equipment yards. So I did note already about the structural supports, but here's a more in-depth look of what that structural support looks like. So just like how the STL4 noise block panel works and slides down the webbing of an I-beam, these are going to be installed the exact same way. So the structural support members don't change. We just change the panels that go inside. I know that was brief, but I wanted to offer you a brief introduction to our new noise block panel. I'd like to open it up to some questions if you have any. Adam, if you're there, we can see what's in the chat.
Yep. Thanks, Kristen. Appreciate that. And yeah, just as a reminder, there's the questions feature in your control panel that you can use to submit questions. We'll get rolling through these. And like Kristen mentioned, we wanted to leave plenty of time here to get through any questions you have. All right. So first question that we have, Kristen, is are these new PVC panels used for indoor plant enclosures?
Yes. So these panels can be used for pretty much every application. They are really resistive to a lot of environments. So indoors, outdoors, they can be used just about anywhere.
All right, great. Next question that we have is what are the acoustic media options within the new panels?
Yeah, so as a standard, we use a mineral wool media in these panels. There is a fiberglass option as well. Same as our other panels.
Okay. I know we probably can't get into too detailed specifics, but we had a question come in asking about the price difference percentage between these panels and the STL panels.
Oh, so it's going to be on a case-by-case basis what that percent difference is, but really it's going to be a significant difference in the metal panels to the PVC panels. So if you're interested in some pricing, please feel free to reach out to myself or the team here for some project-specific pricing.
Okay. We had a question asking about what applications would you be able to use the reflective panels for?
So the reflective panels will typically be used alongside the absorptive panels. You know, they're gonna offer some really good blocking capabilities, but the real benefit of them is the additional structural stability they add to the barrier wall. So typically we're going to be using those two products together to make a barrier wall solution.
Okay. The next question that we have is, are there doors or any other accessories available?
So currently it's just the panels, but we can look at introducing our standard noise block doors with these panels. For now it's just the barrier wall.
Okay. Next question was asking about where the product is fabricated.
So these are manufactured in Southern Ontario, Canada.
Okay. We had a question here asking about, do these panels have seismic and wind restraint capabilities? We've had a couple of questions related to wind restraint and certification, so I think that might be a general way of addressing some of those that have come through.
Yeah, so addressing that, we would read this very similar to our noise block panels in terms of we're going to design the structural supports according to whatever the application and location of the project. We do have those reflective panels to add additional rigidity and structural integrity to the wall. In terms of the product itself, I don't know the ratings offhand, but as a design solution approach, we would just try and design it such that it met the local requirements.
Okay, we had a question asking about when mixing in the solid panels for the reinforcement with the composite walls can drop to a lower STC rating. Can these be made weatherproof for outdoor enclosures, assuming that they can be used horizontally as well?
We would only want to use these we want to use them in the horizontal orientation. So they're short and long, stacked on top of each other that way. Sorry, repeat the first half of that question. There was a lot there.
I think you, and then the part of it was asking about that potentially having a lower STC rating as well from that.
Oh, so the STC rating of the two panels are pretty similar. They're 32 and 33. I wouldn't expect that using a composite of those two panels together would have a significant difference on the overall STC rating of the wall.
All right, great. The next question that we have is, could gaps or spacers be added to allow these panels to become an acoustical intake for mechanical outdoor equipment?
Sorry, Adam, you cut up just for a second. Can you repeat that question?
Yep, it was, could gaps or spacers be added to allow these panels to become an acoustical intake for mechanical outdoor equipment?
So acting like a louver. I don't know if they've been used that way before. I would question this, you know, part of the structural integrity does come from that tug and groove connection between the two panels. I think we're better served by using an acoustic louver when we're looking for looking to allow for that airflow, as opposed to trying to space these panels out.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, another question here for you. We had a question asking about, is this available in Canada? And if so, who is the distributor?
Oh, so yes, it's available in Canada. Please contact me and I'll get you in touch with the local representative.
All right. And let's see here. Another question that we had came in. This was asking about showing that this goes to 16 feet, but said they could stay to 10 to 12 feet. Why is that?
So that's more for the structural requirements of a job. So we would have vertical posts to support these panels. Just as a standard, you know, we try and stick to 10 to 12 feet. It's easiest to work with panels in that way. The structural supports are usually pretty cost effective at that range as well. If we do need to go to 16 feet, we're now looking at a panel that's almost twice as long. It's more awkward and difficult to work with for installation. We also will have to have significantly more robust structural supports to support it. It's likely more cost effective and easier for installation to stick to that 10 to 12 feet, but the 16 foot is available for applications that really need it.
All right, great. I think you hit a couple of those. One last question here was about wanting to know about, could we get a chemical resistance table for these? And mentioned some examples about being resistant to things like H2S, H2SO4, anything along those lines available?
That's a great question. I don't have anything offhand, but that's definitely something we can look at putting together.
Okay. It looks like that is all of the questions that we've had come through. Thank you all for sending those. If anything else comes up, obviously Kristen's information's here, and Kristen, I'll turn it back to you to close out today's presentation.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and thank you for sticking with it while I was having some technical difficulties. I appreciate your patience with that, and thank you for joining us today. My contact information is on the screen there. Please feel free to reach out to myself or the team should you have any questions about this product or anything else Kinetics related.